complexion. He loved the way she was walking, the way she was swaying, her eye-catching buttocks. He moved closer. And he asked, "Please, young lady, may I know you?" She looked at him as if he was a bird wearing mattock shoes on top of a tree, reading a Bible. "There's no problem." Then he retorted, "I have always heard that every bullet has billet. I have taken my time to look at you, and I think my heart is moved. I can feel it, so much salt inside my chest. When I look at your face, oh my God. Look at the bewitching gap in the upper jaw of your white pearl teeth. Look at the dark, deep dimples you expose wherever you smile. I'd love to make you my darling dove. I'd like to travel with you the entire world. You are the best of all possible best women who have been born ever since the death of Eve." While she was listening to him, she was perplexed and transfixed to the ground. She was a lady of Kisii origin, and every time he spoke, she was drawing the map of Africa while saying these words. And that's how they met. She further informed him that she was informed too, but since her words had removed nyoka kutoka pangoni, she was ready to abandon school and follow her to wherever he deemed befitting. They started alive. 27 years ago, the two loverbirds, Doreen Mora and Kefa, gave birth to a bouncing baby boy, and they named him Kelvin Nyamache. My journey in this world of a myriad of challenges began. I was not born at the best of times. I was born when my father had just been retrenched from Chemelil Sugar Factory, where I was working as an electrical engineer. My mother, who had abandoned school while in Form 2, had to fend for the family because my father had started experimenting with drugs and substance, and they had taken over him. My mother struggled. I remember her working in people's farms, doing chikonda from break of dawn to dead of night, and she was paid a paltry sum of money that was not enough to take care of the family. I remember going to Motonyoni DOK primary school bare feet for 8 years. I remember the many nights I spent with my family with hunger pangs for lack of food. I remember the tattered clothes we used to wear. I remember my shirt lilikuwa limedodosha vifunguo. Nalikumbuka kaptura langu la manjano lilikuwa na viraka 4 vya rujuani, vilikuwa vimechungulia kwa makalio kama pazia kwa madirisha ya nyumba. I remember. But God in heaven deemed it fit that I finish my primary education despite the challenges. And that's how I joined Mesabisabi Secondary School, nestled in the heart of Kisii County. I started my Form 1 with the same challenges. Cole used to had borrowed me his trousers, and my cousin Winnie had given me a shirt. They were too big and I was a tiny boy. And wherever I walked around, I walked like a scarecrow. Trust me, I scared. I scared more than a scarecrow scares. When I was in Form 2, the school principal, Bwana Nyauma Maka, took notice of me. He must have observed that I was an intelligent student, but time and again I played a lot because I didn't know the seed the Lord had planted inside me. A seed that one day will meet a great need in the world. I was the greatest noisemaker. My academic performance were not very attractive. I recall the many days I saw the dreaded E's in my report card. So during my second term in Form 2, the principal, together with other teachers, decided they were going to have a conversation of grown-ups with me. That day, Mr. Oirere was teaching mathematics in class. Then the principal came. He was a man of a short stature with a flaring temper. Akamwambia Bwana Oirere, kidogo, ngoja kidogo. Kevin! Yes, mwalimu. Yeah, to the staff room. So, helter-skelter, I went to the staff room. And there I met them, the teachers, waiting for me. They were trying to push the lockers. They were trying to create some space in the staff room. I didn't know what was going on. I thought perhaps it was a serious meeting. It was going to be a serious meeting of minds, though I could feel my heart beating so hard. And then he said, "Umushuyo, kwani uteneine?" Those who don't understand Ekegusi, my mother tongue, he said, "You boy, you're still standing." Then I was shaking like a leaf. I told me, "I'm sorry, sir." And I went down. He told me, "Karisia." So I lied low on the ground. And then he told me, "Mr. bring that red Bunsen burner." The red Bunsen burner pipe. they started working on me. I counted them canes. 1, 2, 3, 10, 15, 20, 30. I lost count. My buttocks had grown numb. Allow me to ask you a question, girls. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Jameni, umeaichapwa hadi ulikuwa umwambie mwalimu tafadhali nisamehe. Unajikuta unamwambia mwalimu nisamehe. I remember that day with a lot of nostalgia. That is the day that I changed course of my life. That's the day I decided to become whom I am today. And I know that they didn't punish me because they hated me. They did it because they saw something in me. I really hated them the moment they punished me. But now I have forgiven all of them. I know they helped me. The other day, I was speaking with Maka over the phone, and I told him, in case I become president, soonest possible, venye nimepanga, wewe mara moja Minister of Education. Asa wewe ya kuambia hongera, hongera, hongera Bwana Maka. Now, I had a difficult task ahead of me. I knew I had to transform my grades from an E to an A to avoid undergoing the same ritual next time. I knew that I had written a covenant with my teachers, and I told them I'll score the A, and I had to work. You should know I'm also a teacher. Perhaps I'm the worst. So if I see you playing around, I'll not be very happy. Thank you. All right. So, I knew that I had to do anything possible to turn my life around. My dear sisters, the nuggets of wisdom I am yet to share with you are the principles I learned. The principles that have helped me transform and live the creed of my dream. It is my prayer that you listen to them in between the lines. You will incline your ears to understanding, and you will rubber stamp them in the tablet of your hearts. The first principle that helped me turn my life around is the principle of being intentional about life. Success does not come by chance. It is something we must plan, work for, and consistently pursue. Many students assume that intelligence alone guarantees success, but this is a myth. It is hard work, it is persistence, and the daily commitment that separates achievers from the rest. You must be intentional about your life. Your future self is looking at you, and it is gratified, it is joyed, it is smiling because of the decisions you are making today. If you are making wrong decisions, you are busy annoying your future self. Your future self represents a very successful lady, an icon, a legend, a trailblazer, the best the world has known. She who will rewrite the narrative of humanity That's what your future self represents. But because you are playing around with your life, because you have decided to give up, your attitude is negative, your low esteem is wanting, you're busy killing your future, and your future self is not happy because of you. Most of you are playing around. Instead of taking your time and studying seriously, you are just playing around. Let me tell you, hard work is the bridge between dream and fulfillment. It is the link between aspiration and achievement. Hard work is what will transform your dreams, your passions into reality. That's well recorded in the good book, the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 24. And I read from the NIV version, which says that the hands of the diligent will rule, but laziness will end in forced labor. Academic fortune, academic excellence, academic prowess will eventually smile on diligent, hardworking girls. You must be ready to burn the midnight oil if you want to shine in the daylight. The English have a saying that he who will eat the kernel must crack the nut. They also say he who will gather a mortal palm must not be hindered by the stinging of the beast. That can be loosely translated into, in Swahili, mtaka cha mvunguni. I have been privileged to go around the world. I visited very many countries during my time under the sun. From the Cocoa Towers in Ibadan, all the way to the Great Walls of China, all the way to the Great Pyramids in Egypt. When you take your time and look at those marvelous creations, you will see that a lot of hard work has gone unto them. Nothing comes on an empty silver platter. Life is not a walk in the park. Life is not a bed of roses. You must package yourself. You must design yourself to fit the big shoes of life. You must work hard. There is no substitute for working hard, not even working smart. Many years grows the trees, but hard work, sweat, pain, and blood creates a great man. I remember a poem my late grandpa, may his soul rest in eternal peace, James Nyang'ate, taught me when I was a boy. He told me, listen to me, grandson. Heights reached and kept by the great were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their friends were deep asleep, were busy walking in the night. I repeat, heights reached and kept by the great were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their friends were deep asleep, were busy walking in the night. Young queen, young queen, young queen, walk while your friends are busy asleep, and you will grow as they shrink. Walk while your friends are busy asleep, and you'll grow while they shrink. I have seen bright students fail simply because they never develop the right habits. And I have seen average students rise to excellence through determination and structured efforts. Every day is an opportunity to build towards success, small, consistent actions accumulate into greater achievement. Don't take into for granted what you're doing today. And don't wait for the world to celebrate you, for you to know that you are on the right path. One of the greatest writers I love, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, in his book, Things Fall Apart, he says, when the lizard fell from the pinnacle of an iroko tree, it looked around and nobody was celebrating it, so the lizard had to clap for itself. Don't wait for the world to clap for you to work hard. Don't wait for the world to celebrate you. The world only celebrates great achievement. The world doesn't celebrate steady growth. So it is incumbent upon you to intrinsically motivate yourself. It is incumbent upon you to talk to yourself in a way that builds you. That's the first principle I learned. The second principle is time management. Every student under the sound of my voice has 24 hours in a day. But how those hours are used determines who succeeds and who struggles, who becomes a winner and who becomes a failure. Time, my dear sisters, once wasted can never be recovered. I learned early during my time at Sabbath that cramming at the last minute is ineffective. True excellence comes from consistent study over time. I had to make the major decision to be very intentional about my time. Towards the end of my third time in Form 2, I started waking up at 3 a.m. every day. You must be ready to wake up with the birds. You must be ready to wake up with a lot of determination. If at all you want to go back to bed with satisfaction. I still do. Those days I could take that time to walk out my schedule of the day, to pray and to read my Bible, and even to exercise. But these days, I wake up very early in the morning, at 3 a.m. in the morning. I wake up to write. I am a writer. I write articles, I write stories, I write poems. I wake up at that time to read books. I read not less than 2 books every week. So that the time I wake up to read novels, inspirational book, magazines, and so on and so forth. That alone has greatly transformed my life. Were it not for the books, I don't know where I could be today. Reading is the best way to have a conversation with great minds. Those people you will never be in a position to meet. Those people who are great and they changed the course of history, but they left the world so long time ago. It is through reading that you'll have a conversation with them. If you want to have a conversation with the great Mahatma Gandhi, then you must read books that were written by him. If you want to have a conversation by the great Dr. Miles Monroe, then you have to read books that were written by him. If you want to have a conversation by the late Martin Luther King Jr., who has greatly inspired me, you have to read books that were written by them. Develop the habit of reading. develop the habit, the culture of reading as many books as possible, because it is books that help me get out of my village Suguta, and now I travel all over the world to help young people untap their hidden potentials and become best versions of themselves. A simple rule lived by us a student should be, each day I must accomplish three key academic tasks before sleeping. That will build your confidence and it will keep you ahead. When you wake up in the morning and when you're working out your schedules, you must have your goals for the day. You must know that which you want to accomplish that day. And you must be specific about that which you want to accomplish. Assuming you want to do an essay in English, you must be specific which essay you want to do, and you will have to write it down. Then you say, at this time to this time, I'll study biology. And you must be specific. I want to go to Form 2, one of the last chapters, and I want to study and master the process of the formation and the elimination of urine from the human body. If you want to master something in English, maybe a poem, you must be very specific about it. You say, today I want to master the poem, I love you, my gentleman. My love is like the fresh milk which we smear in the rubinde, which we smear during our wedding day. Then you must know what you want to study out of it. I want to know some stylistic features. I want to know how the poet plays with words. I want to know the subject matter, the thematic concern. You must be specific about it, and other subjects, you also have to do the same thing. Now in the evening, before you break to bed, now you take a pen and a paper, and now you are taking a recap of the things that you did during the day. You say, history, I did this and this and this and this and this, tick. Mathematics, I did master concept in algebra, tick. If it is biology, I did study the process and the elimination of urine from the human body. Now this is how we do recap. When you're doing a recap now, you write notes from your head on the things that you did study during the day. For instance, if it's for that essay, you take your time. For a moment, you get lost in your stream of consciousness. You rack your brains to remember that which your head has conceptualized. And you say, excess amino acids cannot be stored in the body. Tick. I see. I remember this. What happens to the amino acids when they cannot be stored in the body? They are deaminated. Wow. What's another word for deamination? They are broken down to amino groups and carboxyl groups. Wow. What happens to the carboxyl groups? The carboxyl groups, they are transported and they are stored in body tissues as fatty acids. Excellent. Splendid. Phantasmagogias. Now, what happens? What's the function? What's the work of the fatty acids? The fatty acids, workers, shock absorbers. Excellent. Now, what happens to the amino groups? They combine with hydrogen to form less toxic urea. But you're not sure. So you go back to your book and you want to be sure. It's really that they combine with hydrogen to form less toxic urea, and you realize, oh yeah, this is true. Yeah, okay. Oh fine, this is true. So you come back again, you take your pen and your paper, you keep writing. They combine with hydrogen to form highly toxic ammonia, which combines with the CO2 to form less toxic urea. Now you keep writing. You know, you remember what happens when they go to the loop of Henle and what happens if they are taken out of the body. And that's how you go back to bed as a student with satisfaction in your heart because you have accomplished something that day. Kama unasikia tena sema jameni, let me hear an amen. Amen. Thank you. Another principle that I did master is the principle of shifting one's mindset. I had to develop the growth mindset. Many students fail mentally before they even begin. Some of us are walking around this great institution, but internally we are dead. We believe that math is hard. We believe that we are not good in chemistry. And this belief has become a reality. We are not doing well in some subjects because we have lied to ourselves that that's who we are. I have met students who, because of negative belief, refuse to even attempt problems and they sit silently in class and they never seek help for help. My dear sisters, learning is like walking. You fell many times as a child, but you never gave up. Why? Why? Why is it so? It is because you believed you could walk. When you were born as a child, you're born with a clenched fist. And that symbolizes that you were born holding something. And then, when you started advancing in years, people started telling you things that brought your spirits down. You lost your zeal as a child. You lost your zest as a child. You lost your dedication, your commitment, and your hard work as a child. And you let go that which God gave you. You forgot that the salvation of this community, the salvation of our country Kenya, the salvation of our African continent flows in the blood in your veins. You forgot about it. You forgot that destiny is in your hands, and you let go that which God gave you. And that's why most of you are struggling now. The best students are not necessarily the smartest. They are the ones who believe in themselves and keep trying until they get it right. I am that student. I am that student who failed so many times for me to be where I am today. I am that student. I am that student who never knew how to speak English in an excellent manner. I was never a good speaker in Swahili. And those who listened to me, they used to laugh at me. And I've taken my time to study and master the nitty of language. And now, I travel all over the world, and I'm paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars, peak within a very short span of time, and that's what puts food on my table. There's a man I know. He's one of the greatest neurosurgeons the world has ever known. His name is Ben Carson. How many of you have ever heard of Ben Carson, please, by show of hands? Ben Carson. Great. Ben Carson was considered to be a dunderhead. Ben Carson was considered to be stupid. Ben Carson was perceived to be foolish, to be absolutely balderdash. Say after me, absolutely balderdash. Absolutely balderdash. The Kisii people have a name for absolutely balderdash. They say, Brian Yomoromu. I know we might have a Brian within the assemblage. I'm not trying to refer to that Brian. There's a song I remember many years growing up. They used to sing in Ekegusi. Eti mwalimu nkamenyoka kangaka buna bo. Yani ngaka nsemna. And that was Brian Omoromu saying those words. Now, Ben Carson lost his self-esteem. He lost his self, and people continued to perceive him as one of the greatest men in the world of stupid people the world has ever known. But the mother to Ben Carson, Mother Sonia Carson, believed in Ben. And time and again, Mama Sonia Carson told Ben, listen to me, son. I believe in you. I trust in your abilities. You can do better, son. Please, son, listen to me and work hard. One day, the world will rejoice because you exist. One day it will be written in Greek, Veni vidi vici, that Ben you came, Ben you saw, and Ben you conquered. Ben never believed in these words. So one day the mother to Ben, Mama Sonia Carson, bought for Ben a magazine that was addressing a concept on rocks. And while at it, Ben took his time to read the magazine in between the lines. And he conceptualized the nitty-gritties in the magazine. When he went to school the following day, he was shocked, astonished to learn that the geography teacher had a lesson that was touching on rocks. So the geography teacher introduced the lesson. And while at it, he asked a question. And Ben expected the genius student to answer that question because he knew the answer, for he had read about it the previous night. He looked at her around, and his eyes were rocketing like that of a chameleon, and nobody was ready to answer. And he told himself, I will give it a try. So he raised his arm, and he was shaking like a leaf on a tree. And the entire class was looking at him amazed, their mouths wide agape. They never believed anything good can come out of Ben. Ben was shaking. Ben was almost falling down. And the teacher looked at him. The teacher too didn't believe in Ben. And the teacher said, okay, Ben, okay, you can give it a try. And Ben opened his mouth. The words that came out of Ben's mouth shocked the entire class. He got it right. And that's the day Ben realized that he was not stupid. That's the day Ben made a creed with his life that he will change for the better. So Ben went back home. He was happy. His heart was filled with pomp and gaiety. He was dancing. He was rejoicing, and he said, Mama, Mama, listen, Mama. Sonia cousin, Mama. Listen, Mama, today I got it right, Mama. The teacher asked a question, and the junior students could not get it right, Mama. But I got it right, Mama. Mama, I know now that I am intelligent. I know that I will change the course of our family. Mama, I'll make you happy one day. I have decided that from today henceforth, I'm going to rewrite my history. And that marked the genesis of a new life in Ben's life. And today, we celebrate Ben as one of the greatest neurosurgeons the world has ever known. He wrote a book, Think Big. And in chapter 13 of Think Big, Ben Carson says, think positively. The chapter ends there. And then he proceeds to chapter 2 and he says, use your PMA, positive mental attitude well. You are what you think and you think what you are. Have faith you can make it because we have also made it. Those words have always stuck in my heart like belt sticks to trouser because they carry a lot of weight in them. Positive thinking. Are you a positive thinker? What is it that you tell yourself every day when you wake up in the morning? How do you perceive yourself? Success begins in the mind. As a man thinketh, so is the man. Success begins with you. You must see it before you live it. You must visualize your success. You must package yourself. And you transport yourself to the future. And you see yourself as a doctor. If you want to be a professor, you must see yourself teaching international students at the hallowed lecture halls of Harvard or Cambridge universities or the University of Nairobi here in Kenya. You must see it from now. You must transform yourself. If you want to become a nurse, you must see it from today. If you want to become an engineer, you must see it today. If you want to become a great politician, if you want to become a president, you must see yourself as president today. You must start addressing yourself as president. You must start going around, walking around like a president. Every time you talk to yourself, you tell yourself, Your Excellency, Your Excellency, Morabo Sibori Nyancha Manyapara. It's your time to talk to your people. And then you take your podium. These are the things I used to do in our maize plantation with a maize corn. And I was addressing the stalks of maize as if they were human beings. Ladies and gentlemen, people from all over the world, I am so pleased and gratified to be here today. So I could see myself as president. And I used to train myself to speak like one. I talk as one. And today, I live the creed of that dream. I know I am in the right path. And I know that when the Almighty Father will deem it befitting, He will come with His angels and they will descend upon my life. They will hold my hands and they will walk with me. And I will stand before millions and millions of people. And I will tell them that this was my dream. And I have become You must see yourself from today. From first, you must believe that it is possible to be the best in this country. You must see yourselves scoring a mini score of more than 11 points from today. If you want to be the best in this country, package yourself. Work, believing that you become. And trust me, a time is coming when the results will be released and you'll be seated watching television with your family, your friends, and there the news will break that Sironga Girls National School tops this year. There is an ego. That's an African folklore. There is an ego that lived amongst the chickens. The ego walked like a chicken. It danced like the chicken, spoke like the chicken, and believed that like the chickens. One day, an older ego was wandering around like a vagabond, and it chanced upon this younger ego. Perplexed and shocked, it asked, "What are you doing amongst the chickens? Don't you know you are an eagle and you are meant to fly?" So it was looking at the older ego and said, "But I'm a chicken. I am a chicken. I know that my DNA is that of a chicken. I've always been with these chickens." So the older ego said, "Come on. You are not a chicken. You are an eagle. You are meant to fly. You are meant to soar high in the skies. And you're not meant to walk around like a chicken." So it tasked the younger ego to spread her wings. And spreading her wings it did. And then it started flapping her wings. And that's how it started soaring higher into the skies. It went higher and higher and higher and higher. Most of you have been made to believe that you are chickens when you are eagles. People have done a good job in killing that which is in you. And that has made you believe that you're a chicken. Your family background, those ones who come from the poorest of backgrounds, just like your orator Kelvin Nyamache, your background has made you believe that you're a chicken. But listen to me, my dearest sisters. You are not a chicken. You are an eagle. God designed and created you at a time like this because He wanted you to bridge a gap in the world. Before you were born, before He formed you in your mama's womb, He knew who you will become. He had already set you aside to be a queen of the nations. The Lord has bigger plans for you. You are not an accident of birth. You are a masterpiece of creation. If you believe in that, may I hear an amen. Amen. Repeat after me. I am a champion. I am a champion. I am a trailblazer. loser. I am a conqueror. I am beautiful. I am the best. Those are the words I want to hear you speak to you every day when you have a conversation with you. It is called positive affirmations. Speak to yourself affirmatively. Speak to you positively. And then the Lord will help you become an eagle and not a chicken. Another principle that I did master is the principle of discipline and consistency. Repeat after me: discipline and consistency. Discipline and consistency. The world is famous. The world's greatest athletes, greatest musicians, greatest succeed because they train daily, not just before competitions. Are you consistent in your training? How do you give up every day when you fail? I am a summation of failures. Failures have made me to be who I am today. I scored E's in mathematics very many times for me to score that A. Now you score a C, you score a D, and your friend is scoring an A, and you tell yourself that I know I'm stupid, I'll never score anything better than this, so I leave the A's and the B's to Shaila, to Kerubo, to Bosibori, to Beatrice, for those people, and then they will score it on my behalf. That should not be the case. Be disciplined. Know the weight that you carry in your hands. Success is built through small, consistent actions, not last-minute panic. Another African folklore is told, the story of the hare and the story of the tortoise. One day, the hare and the tortoise embarked on a competition. They went to the field. The hare looked down upon the tortoise and it said, "Why do you want me to compete with the hare?" Said, "Why do you want me to compete with the tortoise? This is an embarrassment. I am a champion. I am the greatest of the greatest." But the organizers of the champion told the tortoise, come down, boy. Come down. Just compete in the race." So the hare decided to go to the lizard's home so they can indulge on some chai and mandazi. And there they were, eating and chuckling and laughing, filled with merry. And at that time, the tortoise was already running. Nyinyi nyote mnajua mzee Kobe, mnamjua? Anakimbia polepole, 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 lakini mwendo wake ni steady. Ni mwendo wa kishua. So walikimbia polepole. Na huo wakati the hare alikuwa anakula raha pale na kunywa chai na mandazi, anacheka, alikuwa amejawa na bashasha tele. Alikuwa anajiambia, anajua hata nikianza hii race nikiwa mwisho lazima nitangulie. When he decided to embark on the race, alikimbia. Akakimbia. Lakini alipofika the finishing line, akapata the tortoise alikuwa amemaliza race. Jameni, mpigie makofi mzee Kobe. Sasa kuna wengine hapa, nyinyi ni kama mzee Kobe, mnaenda polepole lakini mnajiaminia. Mnasema tunajua sasa hivi hatufanyi vyema shuleni, lakini nyiku moja Rabuka aliyeumba mbingu na nchi atanifungulia milango, nami nitamaliza hii marathon kama winner. Winners are made at the finishing line. Winners are not made at the start of a competition. So keep going. Never look back. Never give up, no matter how tough the going gets. So many years ago, I also trained myself to learn something new every day, even on days when I was tired or busy. Even though I failed many times, I kept on going because I knew that God was doing something marvelous in your lives. How many of you believe that God is doing something marvelous in your life? How many of you have consistently seen His blessings in your life? By show of hands. If you believe that He's doing something in you, please, I want to see your hands. Thank you. There's this song that is so close to my heart. When upon life billows you are tempest tossed, when you are discouraged thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Thank you. Thank you. Another principle that I did master. Congratulations for those who have made it to the other phase of life. You're doing well. Please clap for them. Don't worry. You'll also be in the next phase of life soonest possible, okay? All right. All right. Seeking help and using resources. Many students struggle in silence, afraid to ask questions for fear of looking numb. I was privileged to teach in a few schools. When I graduated from Maseno University, I went and I joined the fraternity of Bunyore Girls National School, where I taught English and literature. And thereafter I went and I taught at St. Sylvester's Girls. I also taught English and literature. That's when I made the decision now to transition into another life and become a teacher of the world. When I was doing it, I remember very well as a teacher, seeing students who are very weak, but because these students believed in themselves and they kept on going asking for help, they became who they are today. They scored A's. Never fear asking questions. Mnanisikia? Never fear asking questions. I also want you to work together. Form force work together. This is the time to work together. Safaricom as a saying, when we come together, great things happen. If you want to go far, then you must go together as a team. Don't be egocentric. Usikuwe wewe unajua utaki kumonyesha mwingine. Kama unataka kumaster concept, lazima umfunze mwenzako. Kama unataka kujua zaidi kuliko watu wote, lazima ukuwe ready kufunza watu kile ambacho unakijua. Na usije ukajidanganya eti wewe ndio guru, wewe ndio gwiji wa magwiji wote duniani. Leo hii ningalipenda kukujulisha kuwa the wisest amongst you all is she who knows she knows nothing. Unanisikiza? The day that you will realize and you will learn that you know nothing is the day that you rise. And lastly, another principle is the principle of avoiding distractions. We are easily distracted. And your number one distractor is your friend. Look at your friend. Take your time looking at them. Just take your time. Have a nose that spreads like an umbrella. Or is their head in the shape of a rhombus or a trapezium? Just look at them. Why are you fearing looking at your friend? I'm using the stylistic feature hyperbole because I want to teach you something. Now listen. You see that friend of yours? You see that friend of yours? That is your greatest distractor. That is your greatest distractor. And many of you are not doing well because you have allowed your friends to distract you. Many of you are not doing well because you keep listening to silly stories from your friends. Silly stories. Somebody lies to you that, my boyfriend is in the United States of America. Tell me more. He told me that he wants to take me here and there. Tell me more. Blah, 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 blah. And some of you are such major distractors that they are removing you from the love and the protection of God. Have you ever heard of something called lesbianism? Have you ever heard of something called lesbianism? You find two beautiful girls stretching their lips like frogs in water, kissing each other carelessly. Woo! Woo! If there's one here, tell them, shame on you. Shame on you. Listen, my dearest of girls, listen, please. One day, I made a decision to keep very few friends around me because I realized that my friends were my greatest distractors. They will teach you things that will take you down the river. So keep going. Never, ever lose hope. Have a vision. That's not a beautiful smile. Do you like such a kind of laughter? Is it beautiful? Does it sound allegorical? I don't like that laughter. Please silence. Kuna mtu kwa anacheka ni kama anaomboleza. Jameni, nyamaza. Asante. Nataka kumaliza. Na namaliza nikisema, dada zangu, tafadhali keep going and never lose hope. The world is waiting for you so that you can fix. You are so privileged that you came to Sironga Girls National School. The fact that you're here means you are a great mind. And that means you can be better, like Kelvin Nyamache, who went to Mesabisabi Secondary School, shule yenye tulikuwa wanafunzi 167 shule mzima. Inamaanisha you will do better than Kelvin Nyamache, mwenye alikanyaga chini kwenda shule miaka 8. Nyamache ambaye alienda shule ya upili ya Mesabisabi Secondary School, akafuatilia hizi principles ambazo nimewafunza, zikamsaidia akaenda chuo kikuu cha Maseno, ambapo alifanya shahada katika shahada la ualimu, somo king'eng'e na fasihi yake. Nyamache ambaye Rabuka alimjalia jalali zake, akamwezesha alipomaliza chuo kikuu, akenda akafunza National School, shule ambayo yeye hakuisoma. Inamaanisha siku moja mtamzidi Nyamache, ambaye baada ya kufunza pale kwa miaka michache, Mungu alimbariki akaenda kusavu wana Afrika kama director wa vijana kwa World Youth Summit. That means that one day God will deem it befitting that you become greater than me. The Kelvin who at one point was struggling, but God picked him up, walked with him, and made him at one point the African Regional Director for Youth Up Global Projects. And during my prime, serving as a young leader, I was elected the steering committee chair for the African Union Youth Assembly, where I served more than 780 young people all over Africa. I traveled all over Africa, living the creed of my dream. And after my tenure was done, I started my company, Idolite International, a company that's now operating globally with offices all over, our headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya, and Washington, D.C. in the United States of America. If I have made it to this end, so can you. If I have become, so will you. Keep going. Never give up. Hold to your dreams. Hold to your dreams. Have a goal. You must know where you are. You must know where you're coming from. And you must know where you are headed. Don't play around with your life. I am doing what I am doing today, even if I am tired, because I want to give my future wife the best life ever. During the day of my wedding, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? During the day of my wedding, after we have marched maybe in a church in Kenya, And perhaps we'll do it in a stadium, because we'll be very many of us who cannot fit in a hall. And there we will be marching majestically like angels. And every time he's stealing glances and looking at my queen, I'll be looking at her. And my heart will be somersaulting and somersaulting inside my chest. I'll be waiting for the time that will go for the honeymoon. And our honeymoon will not happen in this country. I'll have to take it out of Africa. So I will hire a private jet. And perhaps I'll be having mine. And I'll fly my queen out of Africa. And we'll go all the way to Puerto Rico. 1,000 miles down Florida. And there I will take her to the beach. And I'll put around her neck a beautiful, precious lapis lazuli. And I'll look at her and I'll shed tears. I'll tell her, see, because I decided to be who I am today. Today I'm able to treat you. You must be ready for the future. You hear me, young queens? You hear me, young queens? That's why I'm working so hard, so that I can make a lot of money, because it takes money. I have a dream. I have a dream, and I dream it every day. I want one day your sons and your daughters to learn about me in books. I have a dream. I have a dream that a day is coming when you will read me in magazines, in newspapers. I have a dream. I have a dream that a day is coming when you'll see me in televisions and you'll tap the shoulders of your husband and you'll say, there is Nyamache, he once came to our school. I know him. I have a dream. I have a dream that a time is coming. A time is coming when the world will be better because I lived. I have a dream. I have a dream that I'll be the greatest of the greatest, that I will be a legend, that I'll be a champion, I'll be a conqueror, that the entire world will be happy because I exist, that the Lord will descend from heaven and he will walk with me in the journey of life, and that the day when I leave the face of the earth, that he will put his hands upon my shoulders and he will say, well done, my good and faithful servant. You fought a good fight and you won the battle. Do you have a dream? 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 Do you pray for it every day? Do you believe in those prayers? Do you read your Bible? Do you talk to him in the heavens? Usinipite moko kie naomba unisikie unapozuru wengi. Kiti chako cha rehema magoti napiga pale, Yesu naomba unisikie. Father in heaven, I am my humble servant. I have had the honor and the privilege to talk to your daughters. They have listened to me in between the lines. I've taught them a few principles on how they can be successful. And I believe a time is coming when I'll be back into this institution so that I can share with them more principles. Lord in heaven, help them live by those principles. May the principles stick in their hearts like belt sticks on trouser. Lord, you help me. You knew how I struggled. You knew the many nights I cried. You knew how painful, how hard life was for me. You remember those days when I used to sleep on the floor in Maseno University for lack of a place to sleep, and yet I mixed with other comrades and we went to the same class and nobody knew what I was going through. I pray to you and you listen to me. See where you brought me, O Lord. I believe that if you did it for me, you can do it for them. Listen to them. Listen to their silent prayers. Answer them. I know some are really struggling. Their families are struggling. Don't forsake them. These are the leaders of now. They're not leaders of tomorrow. Package them, walk with them, and never forsake them. This is a wonderful school. Bless the fourth, the candidate class, the amazing girls in this institution. Let them be heads and never their tails. Let them be first, second to none. Let them be the conquerors and the champions of the exams this year. Do not forsake them. That means COVID-11 is for sure reality. It shall come to pass. I believe and I hope they believe too. Bless the teachers here in. Bless Edlight International so that it can keep on going around globally to help and shape the futures of these young people. This is our humble prayer in Jesus' name. Simubarikiwe sana. Tutawamisi Nyasaye yo. Asante.
And he said unto them, Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. Listen, learn, be inspiration direct to you. Join us online for heartfelt worship, inspiring sermons, and reaching fellowship. Connect our community as we celebrate faith, love, unity, and grow together in spirit. Stay connected by following us on our social media accounts. Get the Point on YouTube, Get the Point on Facebook, and follow us on TikTok at Get the Point and Instagram, Get the Point Media.